Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Brains at Work, designing a workplace for every brain. My name is Carla, I am your host, a designer and a researcher in psychology and neuroscience. I help companies and individuals to design a work experience that changes everything one neuron at a time. Today, I want to start with my personal experience working with a group of students around a critique of an advertisement from a very famous cola brand that we all know, Red and White. We have a table with a group of people drinking the drink and being very happy. We have a tagline and we have the logo and that's it. So I asked the students, let's start from noting what do you see in this campaign? What can you observe? And let's stay on the most basic level possible. And I have two groups there. One group of brains that say, well, this is friends enjoying a drink together. And they are happy for that. And I have another group in the room that says, well, we have a table with 4 people. Those people seem to know each other and they are also having fun. Apparently they smile, they seem to be happy. They are drinking this. Do you notice the difference? We have 2 complete different ways of interpreting the same exact situation. And here we go, my friends. What we are looking at is the difference between neurotypical and neurodiverse brains. Here we go. Here is what I notice as neuroscientist. What we have are 2 complete different decision-making processes because analyzing something means making a decision around what do I see and how do I behave in consequence. So what we should know first is that the way we make decisions is based on the way we process the information we receive from the outside world, isn't it? So by information, I mean inputs that are coming into the system through the senses. They go straight up into the brain and they are analyzed in some type of different processes. So stay with me. Let's start again from the part of the room who said,
this is a table of friends enjoying a drink, they are happy.
We will call them the neurotypical brains, right? They capture a few elements in the situation. Those elements activate a response pattern in the brain, which means that they have seen this configuration before. So they have enough elements, enough tokens, we would say today, to activate a pattern that they have stored somewhere in a drawer in their memory. This one opens up, the response model comes out, and here we go. This is interpreted as a situation of friends sitting together, enjoying, being happy because they are drinking this. There we go. It's done. We call this a top-down decision-making process.
So far, so good.
Now let's move to the other side of the room, where the other group of students, which are most likely neurodiverse, here we go, friends. How do they think? They think in the exact opposite way. We are starting from a number of details. We have a complete different understanding and a complete different way of processing those same information. Now, if you have followed me so far, what we notice here is that there doesn't seem to be a script locked in a drawer in the memory. They don't jump to the conclusion immediately. In this case, we are moving the other way around. We are moving from the bottom, so collecting lots of evidence from the environment to then formulate a upper response. So this is called the bottom-up decision-making process.
Where are you sitting?
Are you thinking top-down or are you thinking bottom-up? Because, guys, we have consequences, advantages, and disadvantages. Are you ready? Let's go.
Let's have a look at consequences.
If you analyze only a few details and you already have a model of expression, of course, this saves you time. And not only time, but also cognitive energy. Your cognitive load is significantly reduced. Is it an advantage? Clearly, yes, because your brain has other things to do, bigger fish to fry than thinking about what is going on in the environment. Typically has to keep you alive. So a number of other functions. You cannot really delegate to anything else. Therefore, whenever can cut corners and go faster on processes, will certainly do. This is one case.
In the case of the neurodiverse brains, instead,
we have a heavy cognitive load because every element of every situation is analyzed, understood before being able to make a conclusion and ultimately act upon it. Let's think about it for a moment. Imagine you are in a day full of meetings where you are in plenty of discussions, workshops, normal business life, right? What happens to a number of people in your team is that at some point they may be exhausted, completely exhausted, and willing to sit in a corner alone without anyone talking to them, lock themselves into a phone booth and not get out of there before they are completely recharged. This is a very common scenario for neurodiverse brain, and there is nothing crazy about it. There is nothing strange. These are people who have been thinking the whole day, non-stop.
While a neurotypical brain can choose if they want to analyze deeply a situation or not, neurodiverse brain cannot choose. There is only one way of functioning, is either 0 or 100%. There is nothing in between.
So the first suggestion I want to make is be patient, be understanding. Now that you know about different ways of processing information, be aware of that. And by the way, my dear neurotypical brains, this happens to you as well. It's enough to go on holiday in a country where you don't speak the language. You go there, you try to interact with people, you try to go visit something by yourself and check on the map. For example, in Japan, try to find the address without speaking the local language. That's the moment where you will have to analyze every freaking detail yourself. How are you at the end of the day? Drained.
However, we have an advantage, a big competitive advantage on the side of the neurodiverse.
Because guys, my dear neurotypical, I have something to tell you. Yes, your brain can go fast. Yes, your brain can process information quickly. However, your brain, to go fast, accepts a lot of mistakes. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. We miss out on important details that we should have considered. So again, let's look at business scenarios when we are making a risk assessment about the future, where we are making consideration about the history of our brand and where we want to go next, where we are analyzing data or even insights from customers. Well, we can make assumptions very quickly and skipping a number of details that would be capital to spot different situations, different user needs. What happens on the side of the neurodiverse brain? That's where they have an amazing competitive advantage because none of the elements of the data you are analyzing is going to be lost. They're going to spend so much time understanding the stuff that every single detail will be considered, calibrated, stored somewhere, understood, and analyzed in comparison to the others, which means new patterns can be formed, can be spotted, even where nobody else has seen it. And isn't this beautiful? And I want to tell you more. This is not only beautiful, it's also capital, especially now when with AI, we can accelerate things even more, which means making even more mistakes. Because not only AI hallucinates and make mistakes by itself, but neurotypical brains also don't check, don't question enough, because they assume that the conclusion is right. Neurodiverse brain, they're going to question AI as well. They're going to put the finger where it hurts and say, no, this is not right. This conclusion is too quick. Why couldn't be in another way? Why are you coming up with this solution?
And this changes everything, guys. Everything.
Imagine taking decisions without knowing or making decisions knowing everything. It can be too much sometimes, but sometimes is exactly what's needed. So I hope I gave you enough things to think about. I would like to know where you locate yourself. Are you a top-down thinker or a bottom-up thinker? What happens most of the time in your brain? It's time for some awareness. I will see you in the next episode. And until then, subscribe, like, and let me know in the comment. Share the podcast with whoever else may benefit from knowing how their brain works a little bit more. Bye!